The air hung heavy with the scent of concrete and sweat. The sun beat down mercilessly on the workers, each drop of sweat a testament to their hard labor. A symphony of construction noises filled the air. The whirring of machinery, the rhythmic pounding of hammers, the shouts of workers echoing through the unfinished structure. It was a typical day, filled with the promise of progress and the relentless march towards completion. But on this day, the symphony was shattered. The harmony of the site was abruptly broken, replaced by a sudden, jarring silence.
A heavy piece of equipment, swaying precariously, came loose. It was a moment of sheer terror, a split second that felt like an eternity. It crashed to the ground with a deafening roar, leaving behind a trail of dust and despair. The ground shook with the impact, and a cloud of dust enveloped the site, obscuring the tragic scene.
Juan Perez, a young man with calloused hands and a heart full of dreams, was caught in the chaos. He had always been a symbol of determination and hard work, and a strong back lay amidst the debris. His body, once a pillar of strength, now lay broken and battered. He had been a dedicated worker, a man who took pride in his craft and the role he played in building the city's future. Every brick he laid, every beam he secured, was a step towards a better tomorrow. Now, his dreams lay shattered alongside the fallen equipment. The site, once a beacon of hope, was now a scene of devastation. Twisted metal mocked his broken body. The remnants of the accident were a cruel reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictability of fate. The weight of the fallen equipment had taken its toll, leaving him with multiple fractures. Paramedics rushed to his side, their faces grim as they assessed the extent of his injuries. The life he knew, the future he had envisioned, lay in ruins. The site, once bustling with activity, was now a place of sorrow and regret. The accident sent shockwaves through the construction site. Workers and emergency responders alike were left grappling with the harsh reality of the day's events, their hearts heavy with the weight of what had transpired. The foreman, trained in first aid, sprang into action. His training kicked in immediately, and he knew exactly what to do. He quickly assessed the situation, checking for any immediate dangers before attending to the injured worker. His hands moved with practiced precision, applying pressure to the wound and ensuring the worker was stable. His voice, usually gruff and commanding, now took on a different tone. It was calm and reassuring, a stark contrast to the chaos around him. He gave clear, concise instructions to the other workers, ensuring that everyone knew their role in the emergency response. Every second counted, every action critical. The foreman directed the workers with a sense of urgency, but also with a sense of control. He knew that panic would only make things worse, so he kept his composure, guiding the team through the crisis.
A call was made. The urgency of the situation conveyed in short, clipped sentences. The person on the other end of the line understood the gravity of the situation immediately. The urgency of the situation conveyed in short, clipped sentences. The caller's voice was steady but urgent, ensuring that the emergency services understood the critical nature of the incident. The wail of approaching sirens soon pierced the air, a beacon of hope cutting through the dust and despair. The sound was both a relief and a reminder of the seriousness of the situation. A beacon of hope cutting through the dust and despair. The ambulance arrived swiftly, its lights flashing and sirens blaring, signaling that help was finally here.
Paramedics, their faces grim but determined, carefully maneuvered their way through the debris. They moved with purpose, their training evident in every step they took. Carefully maneuvered their way through the debris. They assessed the situation quickly, their eyes scanning the scene for any additional hazards. They worked with practiced efficiency, their movements swift and precise as they assessed Juan's injuries. Every action was deliberate, every movement calculated to provide the best possible care. Their movements swift and precise as they assessed Juan's injuries. They communicated with each other in short, efficient bursts, ensuring that nothing was missed. The ambulance sped away, sirens wailing, carrying not just an injured worker, but the hopes and fears of an entire workforce. The workers watched as the ambulance disappeared from sight, their thoughts with their injured colleague. Carrying not just an injured worker, but the hopes and fears of an entire workforce. The site fell silent for a moment, the gravity of the situation sinking in as they hoped for the best. As the ambulance disappeared into the distance, the focus shifted from immediate response to understanding the root cause of the accident. The construction site, once a scene of bustling activity, transformed into a somber investigation scene.
A team of investigators arrived, their faces etched with professional detachment. They meticulously documented the scene, their trained eyes scanning every detail, every piece of debris, searching for clues.
The investigation would be thorough, leaving no stone unturned. Their goal to uncover the truth, to understand the chain of events that led to Juan's accident. Section 4. Duty and Responsibility. Reporting the workplace incident. The accident, a stark reminder of the ever-present risks within the construction industry, triggered a series of mandatory reporting obligations.
The foreman, his face etched with the weight of responsibility, knew that this was not just an accident. It was a legal and ethical obligation to report the incident to the relevant authorities.
The first call was to the Ministry of Labor, the government entity responsible for overseeing workplace safety and workers' rights. The foreman, his voice heavy with regret, provided the necessary details. Section 5. Seeking Justice. Juan Perez's right to compensation. As Juan fought for his life in the hospital, another battle, equally important, began. The fight for his rights as an injured worker.
Juan's case fell under the umbrella of Colombian labor legislation, which clearly outlined the rights of workers who suffered work-related accidents or illnesses.
The amount and type of compensation would depend on the severity of his injuries and his ability to return to work. If his injuries were deemed to be permanently disabling, he would be entitled to a disability pension, ensuring a steady income stream for the rest of his life. Section 6. A Path Forward. Reintegration and Support for Juan Perez. As Juan began his long and arduous journey towards recovery and healing, the focus gradually shifted from immediate medical care to his long-term well-being and successful reintegration into society. Section 7. Guaranteeing Safety. Strengthening Workplace. Protocols and Prevention. The accident that befell Juan Perez served as a tragic reminder of the ever-present risks within the construction industry. It highlighted the need for stringent safety measures and constant vigilance to prevent such tragedies from occurring again.
The investigation into the accident would undoubtedly reveal areas for improvement, loopholes in safety procedures, and potential oversights that might have been previously unnoticed, or lapses in judgment that contributed to the incident. These findings would be crucial in developing more robust safety protocols.
The company could implement mandatory safety training programs for all employees, focusing on hazard identification, risk assessment, and emergency response procedures. These training sessions would ensure that every worker is well-versed in recognizing potential dangers and knowing the correct steps to take in case of an emergency. Regular equipment inspections and maintenance schedules could be established to ensure that all machinery and tools were in optimal working condition. This would not only prevent mechanical failures, but also reduce the risk of accidents caused by faulty equipment.
Fostering a culture of safety where workers felt empowered to speak up about potential hazards is essential. Encouraging open communication and ensuring that every worker's voice is heard can lead to a safer work environment, without fear of reprisal, was paramount. Creating an atmosphere where safety is prioritized and everyone feels responsible for maintaining it can significantly reduce the likelihood of accidents and injuries.